Wait, Minecraft but with improved visuals, more realistic mobs, and better modding support? That sounds like a friend who smoked a bit too much and is giving you a Hytale, but this is for real, and for the 10% who have followed everything since pre-release and already believe it's the best game ever, I understand why this video isn't for you, but for anyone who just wants an honest opinion from a creator who's not going to then tell you, make sure to use code TOYCAT when you check out so I get some money, instead I want to give you an opinion based on actually playing the game that released today, and since this is so popular with the Minecraft community, I want to compare it to that in 5 key ways that are important to me so that you can see if this is the game for you. Okay, so the most important thing about a game is gameplay, and I think the most honest way to share that with you is to load up the game for the first time in survival, or what's called exploration, and show you that, whoa, look at that. Do you see how, oh, I can pick up stone rubble. We spawn into a portal rather than just into the world, but also into a cave of some form. This is a really cool entrance. It almost feels like we're going to be in a tutorial. And yeah, you can already see that I'm able to pick up stone rubble, which I can then presumably place back down. Oh no! Or I can throw it. Kind of incredible. So, as far as what Hytale is gameplay-wise, my best understanding that is matched by what I'm seeing right now is that it is a voxel-based game. That is to say, cubes on a grid. Some of those cubes will look like this, and some of those cubes will look like this and can be picked up. But it is still very much a cube game in the vein of Reforge or Minecraft. And indeed, it feels a lot like Minecraft, but I've just turned on my controller to find that that does not work. So instead, we've got keyboard controls where everything is kind of like Minecraft, but not quite. So a good example of that is that it's F to interact with things. An interact key is nice, to be clear, but still kind of unexpected. And also, if you want to crouch, it's the sprint key. And so does that mean to sprint, it's the crouch key. So there's a few mix-ups, but the basic gameplay is the same. You're in a voxel world, and you get to do voxely things here. And so presumably that means our first goal is going to be to make a crafting table. So to go into our inventory, we're going to press Tab. And we're going to look around here for something we can craft with. That's probably not it. That's probably not it. That is nice. This is nice. And, oh, a workbench. I mean, I wonder what the difference is between a builder's workbench and a workbench. Something about this immediately tells me it's the right thing to go for, but maybe I'm wrong. And so let's try and go for a workbench, which is 4 tree trunks and 3 stone. So the stone is easy enough to get. Apparently, it grows on the ground. So let's pick some of that up. Mossy stone rubble, sure, why not? Pick up some sticks as well. I guess it's going to be like almost realism craft where we have to work to get our pickaxe going. But just like that, we've now got some sticks and some rubble. And can we craft it? No, okay, it's tree trunk and it's stone. So that's going to be trickier, but let's now punch a tree, I guess. So my immediate impression is, oh, 2 hands! See, there's a lot of like crowd-pleasing ideas in here. And this strikes me as a classic example. Although I do have to then say, also at the same time, a little confusedly, why it is that it takes so long to punch down a tree. As much as I love the idea of punching it with 2 hands, I understand that there are some people who say, Minecraft's too unrealistic. How could you punch a tree in that time? But is making it take this long for... Oh, wow. Just like Reforge, the tree falls down when you punch it from the bottom. There is physics in this game, which therefore makes me think if I were to place some of these blocks, because I've got a ton of them, that I couldn't, you know, like place some here, and then place one, like, right off the edge there, because if I break this block, the whole stack should go down. Let's see if that's true. Okay, you have to use your fist. Your fist seems to be a better tool than using an item. Again, huge difference. But, yeah, it's a open world, crafty-based... Okay, yeah, so when you place them, they stay up. It's only when the game places them it doesn't. But anyway, now we've got that stuff, I can make myself, oh, a pickaxe, which I guess I will use to get some stone. Easy peasy. Oh, yeah, very satisfying. I like this animation. I like this sound. Not a lot to hate there. But now we can make a workbench, and we can use that workbench to make bigger, better things. Liking this kind of visualization of what it will look like when it's placed. And now I can, say, get a crude battle axe, or daggers, or, you know, there's lots of cool little upgrades we could go for, including a campfire or a bed. I'm going to go find some plant fibers, presumably by breaking some of these, and, ooh, harvest some berry bush. In the meantime, I'll talk about the other things that are immediately obvious as very different, because you can see that I've got my 9 slots plus my 10th offhand slot, because this game is made in Java. If you don't know, when you download it, you download Java 26.0 or something like that. It is a game made in Java, therefore it is only available for the PC. But interestingly, at least to me, they are very much, taking a path of trying to go against some Java decisions. So, did you see that right there? Instead of having your hunger and your healing and your regeneration be the same, there is an energy bar, and you can only sprint till it runs out, but then it heals itself up. Presumably until you're low on health, at which point maybe that's not true. But let's go make ourselves some daggers. And ideally we'd also make a bed, but I need some light hide. So let's go looking for that. Again, super huge inventory here. Four rows of 9 spaces. Everything in here looks like it was built to be like Minecraft, but with some irritants removed, or depending on your perspective, maybe added. I'm not sure I'm ever going to get used to sprint being on the wrong key, but that's fine. So here is my first enemy. Should we attack? I mean, he looks like he wants to attack me. Oh no, he doesn't care. He was just alerted by me. Do you think he has a hide, though? Because if so, I should go for him. Anyway, this is our first structure, and it looks as though there's quite a lot of these. I can see 2 immediately from spawn, plus my cave, plus that kind of structure over there. You know, let's go stab the fox. I bet he has hides. Oh, but he can hurt me. So I got raw wild meat, but nothing else. And we also... What? You can't do that to me. You can't. So there are presumably going to be dungeons in this game later, but right now you can see where the dungeon should be, and you can imagine, I guess. So oh yeah, that is a big tell of where things are going to go, huh? It is of course undeniable that this is a game that is a work in progress, but that is something that becomes immediately obvious on day 1. Also obvious on day 1. Oh, there was actually a way into this temple. But yeah, it's not all structures that a big work in progress is. This one seems to exist. Oh, there's a portal in here. Forgotten Temple Gateway, guarded by an iron golem or a stone golem of some form. This is shocking. So yeah, the gameplay is very much, there are voxels, you can build with them. It looks like you got lots of fun things to do with them. Like, look at this. I can grab the chandelier, and now I have let's be correct about this. It is a dark temple candle, but now it's a game like Minecraft, but you can actually go out and explore and get some seriously cool things as a result. Look at this. I have a set of candles I can turn on and off anywhere in the world, including in my own little house. So, voxel game with exploration characteristics, and presumably, therefore, also, if we wanted to... we've got to find the Forgotten Temple to learn more. So there's actually progression in this as well, something that Minecraft notoriously lacks. You progress to improve your tools, but never to improve yourself. Your player never gains from the world, just you and your tools and your armor, etc. do. So this is absolutely fascinating, but let's open the high roll chest. Oh yeah, I'll take all of that. Wait, what is this? Boom powder. And then let's go into the portal. I don't think this guy can stop me. Okay. So that has taken me across the world to the Edge of Echo Forgotten Temple. Okay, this has gone so far off the rails already. I think it's easy to assume that it's... Oh, and there's going to be hide from this guy. Oh, never mind. I think it's really easy to assume that this is going to be like an open world voxel game that's just like the other two. But clearly they have a vibe for exploration. Oh, under construction sign. I can buy these, can I? So there are going to be merchants with whom you can trade for all sorts of goodies. And there is also a memories feature. By encountering creatures, you collect memories that will be stored, and you bring the memories back here. So the goal of the game is to go out and find as many creatures as possible. Now that is intriguing. So yeah, the very first core of the gameplay... Look at this, by the way. It's wild to have a place you can't place blocks or can't kill enemies. But this is a game that has that same base, but then builds massively on top of it in a way that I am actually fascinated by. So let's see what memories we have. Oh yeah, 8 out of 48. There's 48 memories to find. And then we move on, I guess. Okay, let's return those memories. Okay, no, there's a lot more than 48. I guess you can just store 48 at a time. Oh my god. I feel like there are RPG aspects on top of this voxel gameplay that we're used to, and honestly, I really like that, and I'm excited to spend some time diving into it. But for the rest of this chapter about structures and world generation, I figured it was worth hopping into creative, and so that's exactly what I did. I then built myself a beautiful statue of myself. I think we can all agree I did a wonderful job. But then looking around the world, I wanted to do a fun comparison of this and Minecraft. And although we can look at the world map to get a fun idea for just how different they can be, we can't actually do a one-to-one comparison because there are no seeds available in the game yet. That is a tale of lots of different parts of the game, because you can see that creative right here, to move into chapter 3, the game modes, creative right here is going to be a very fleshed out mode with machinima options, although I will mention, my first crash of the game came when trying to use these, but there are also builder tools and lots of other things that you can do to actually change your world entirely, spawning entities, particles, etc. They want this to be a game that the builders, that the creatives of the world use, and actually, I'm all for that. I think that it's cool having a camera built into the game for machinima. I think it's cool having a paintbrush tool that you can use to, let's just say that I don't really like what I've done over there. Well, I can kind of remove some of my blocks and fix up my ocelot. I mean, obviously he's beautiful just the way he is. But yeah, I think that this is a game which has 3 main ways to play it. To go back to the main menu here, I can show you them. We've got the exploration mode, which is just survival. There's creative mode, and later there will be an adventure mode, which is presumably meant for custom maps. But that's even before talking about the fact that yes, there's also servers and mini-games and all that other noise. So this is a game that gives you lots of choice in how you want to play it. And honestly, I'm fascinated by that. I think that obviously if you are in the Java engine and you're appealing to a large community of mostly Minecraft players, I think survival and creative are the bare minimum. But to actually go so far beyond in both aspects, it feels like, again, just from the surface here, that the creative mode is as fleshed out as we're seeing in the dreams of what we're looking at in Reforge, and the survival doesn't really remind me of Minecraft or of Reforge, but instead it's more like Terraria, but 3D. Again, there is this real desire to go out into the world. Because there is no world seed, and it's not, at least as far as I can tell, it's not purely random generation, it means there is a reason to keep on exploring and finding new structures so you can find all of those enemies. Find all of those friendlies to actually go back and take with you. I am loving the need to explore. It's something that I think is really, really cool. And, ultimately, even just looking around in creative, I've already found like, oh yeah, there's a fence here. What's going to be inside? I don't know. But I love the mystery that comes with it. But I love the mystery that exploring your world brings with it, and I love the idea that I assume I'm at least partially right on, if not now then about the future, that there are real gameplay rewards because of the progression the game is clearly angling for. That is something that is exciting, and that to me makes the survival game mode worthwhile. But as we move into the technical side of things, I think you'll see some other reasons why the creative mode is great, because it's not just for looking around and seeing the world, but without the survival aspect. I'm sure for some people it's that too, but I want to show you some of the technical options that we have available to us, because already by going to the settings, you see a very modern settings menu with a view distance that can be turned all the way up to 1024. Now, obviously compared to Bedrock, that's like fine, but compared to Java, that's nuts. And given that this is made in Java, that's the fair comparison. Being able to have a much higher render distance is very good, but there's also all sorts of other things where I'm just like, yeah, why didn't they do that by default and say another game out there? Because if we press F7, then we bring up our coordinates. That's kind of nice, I guess, like that's how things should be. But then if we press F7 again, we get this kind of F3 style menu, but it's just so much more nicely put together. You can see my frame rate, my network capabilities, my audio that are currently playing. You can see every piece of information you'd like, but it's presented in such a better way because it tells you what's rendering, what's system, and what's world. That is massive, if you ask me. I am a big fan of anything that gives you information, but in a readable way, and that just kind of goes to show what is of this game all about. Also, oh, you are a funky looking guy. Also, yeah, just for anyone who is curious, you also have all the basic amenities you'd expect, such as being able to pick blocks like this, or indeed, by going through your inventory and scrolling through there, here is the collection of blocks. Here are the collection of, tables. Oh my god, that is a decent amount already. There's a decent number of tools, as you can see, going up to Mithril and Oxinium. And yeah, I just really... Also, whoa, there's subcategories within these two, by the way, just to be clear. I am actually very, very, very shocked by how much of this is here on launch, because if we're being honest, the 5th chapter here is kind of sarcastically about minigames, because minigames were one of my favourite Minecraft console things, and so when I saw that minigames were here, I couldn't help but show them to you, and so let's go show you the minigames. I'm just kidding. This game mode will be available at a future date. And the same is true for certain cosmetics. The same is true, like we've mentioned, if you want to play a world in adventure mode. And there are lots of parts of the world, apparently, which are still going to be covered in this. There are going to be bugs, there are going to be crashes, and so this brings you into what the real 5th chapter of this video should be, the promise of the game, you see. The future of Hytale is bright. Nowhere is that clearer than looking at Simon from Hypixel today, who confirmed that just from the sales made from the pre-sale process, before the game was even out, they had secured enough funding to pay for development for 2 years of the game, and he personally was committing 10 years of his time to it. That means that the game isn't meant to be a perfect product right now, but instead will get better at some point later, which is why there is this big division, as there is in many products like this. If you buy into that future vision, then at some point, Hytale could be the very best game out there, and in 5 years we'll all look like idiots for saying right now that it's like kind of fun, when obviously it's the only game people will ever be playing, or that it's actually one of the best sandboxes on the PC at the very least, given its scaled down ambitions. But it's really, really interesting because that is, many people would say, an impossible task to compare that to what I'm doing right now, which is judging what's out there. People would say that looking at this is like judging a book by its cover, which I would like to say, well, actually, that is valid. Do you know why books have covers? Also, people who say you shouldn't do it don't understand why the books actually have those covers to begin with, that they put them on there themselves, and most importantly, that if you're going to charge money for a book that doesn't have all the pages yet, yes, of course we're going to use the cover as a judgment of where things are to go. And so far, this does look like a really fun game to spend some time in when you want that voxel style, you know, exploration feel, and you want it with an extra little bit of spice and flavor. And honestly, my closest comparison after all of this would not be Minecraft Java, although it's closer than Bedrock. It would not be Terraria, although I've heard that a few times. It reminds me of what Cube World was supposed to be, if you can remember all the way back to the early 2010s. This game is basically a finished and correct version of that, with real structures to raid, real long-term ambitions to have, and honestly, right after I finish making this video, I'm going to go and stream it and have some fun with that, because look, what are you telling me? I just gotta, there's so much loot, and it's just out there for me to go and find. I want to see the world, and I'm gonna do it live today. So yeah, these are my first impressions. I think review is the incorrect way to describe this, but if you want to know my real thoughts, yes, it's super fun, with the caveat of if you are a PC player already and you don't mind the lack of controller support that hasn't been mentioned anywhere, if you don't mind buying into a product that will get better later, I think it's perfectly solid right now. But for the standard player, for the person who has more, has a time limitation on themselves, which is most human beings, I would say, yeah, hold out until you find the moment to buy it, because otherwise you might end up getting a little bit stung. Or maybe even worse. Imagine if there was something worse than being stung. Say, killed. There we go. My items lost durability. No, not my apples. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you for the stream later. Also, just a little heads up, the Creo card that we're doing, the Founders Edition card, we actually managed to negotiate a 1-week extension on that, so I'll mention that later. But super, super excited. If you were just on the edge and weren't able to do it by the extension date, well, now you can. This will be the last deadline, though, and any cards you buy will not end up in my attic. Thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and go check out that store now. Good night. Ooh, aubergines. Thank you. Fucking love aubergines.